Democratic State Representative Nicole Collier of Fort Worth. Thank you so much, and welcome back to Ion Politics.
Thank you for having me, Jack.
You bet. So let's start your reaction to the three-judge panel at the federal courthouse in El Paso ruling to temporarily block these maps from 2025 that the Texas Republicans redrew and approved. And the court said that they found, quote, substantial evidence of racial gerrymandering.
Yeah, this is I'm glad you used the word temporary because this is going to be appealed. I imagine the state of Texas is going to appeal the decision, but it is a victory, a victory today because it validates what the House Democrats and so many Texans have been saying about these hastily drawn maps. It's very clear that they were drawn to disenfranchise, to harm the people of color, the voters of color. And that's exactly what the court recognized. They saw through this ruse by the Republican-led legislature. They used the information that they received against them to show that these maps were drawn to harm Black and brown voters.
And so let me ask you, because Governor Abbott did file an appeal with the U.S. Supreme Court, the state of Texas has. And so I wanted to get your reaction to that. And the governor called this an erroneous decision. And he said that, as I said, he definitely went right to the Supreme Court with this. So your reaction on what he said and the fact that it could be very well in the hands of the Supreme Court.
I'm not surprised that Texas is appealing this decision. And the way that voting cases work is that they go straight to the United States Supreme Court. But let's remember, Texas is a majority minority state. And so when you try to draw lines, rig the lines in your favor, you are going to disenfranchise voters of color. I'm not surprised that Abbott would do this, but let's be real. The fight is not over. So we can celebrate today, but remember, they will appeal this. There are still many tools in Abbott's toolbox to disenfranchise voters. I mean, he could call a special session where he delays the election, pending the Supreme Court's decision. The Supreme Court could remove the stay. So it's not over yet. We're going to continue to fight to make sure that we have free and fair elections and that every vote counts.
So let me ask you this, because based on what you said, are you really concerned that the governor could call a special election on this, a special session on this? Because the judges said that the 2021 maps will be in place for the 2026 midterm elections.
Yeah, I mean, I really appreciate that decision. It's very sound and reasonable. The decision, it's based on the facts and law. However, when I was elected, the election was delayed because of the census from before in 2011. So I don't discount. I don't want to diminish. Let's take a measured approach. I do believe that there is some concern that we have, but again, I'm very pleased. There's so many of us who are pleased that the federal court, which is majority Republican, and the judge that issued the decision is a Trump-appointed judge. So they saw through the Republican efforts to reduce the value of the votes for people of color. But I am very concerned that this could continue to be drawn out, that there could be a special session to delay the elections because the deadline is fast approaching. December 8th is the last day to file. So that there's other tools that could be used. Even the Supreme Court could remove the injunction. So I'm celebrating today, but with a measured approach.
Yeah, my last question to you is, you talked a little bit about it before, about, the Democrats and their fight, when you broke quorum, et cetera, you went to Illinois, California, Massachusetts, New York. And it seems to me that you all feel this was worth it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, sticking up for the people of Texas is always worth it. You know, for too long, there's been a rat out there, and people have just been walking by it. And I'm talking about the Trump administration. We've been Too many people are walking by it and not saying anything. This court said something. What they are doing is harming the people of color in terms of their access to free and fair elections. So finally, we've got somebody that validates and recognizes this treading on our voting rights and our rights in general that is being done by the Trump administration, all so that they can retain power and money. So I'm very pleased with this court decision, and we've got to keep pressing all of that. We got to keep fighting because it's not over yet. Let's not take that final victory lap until it's over. When it's over.
And, it's interesting to point out, as you mentioned, the judge who wrote the opinion was a Trump appointee. He was joined by an appointee from President Obama. And the third judge disagreed with the ruling, and he was appointed by President Reagan. And it seems like he is going to be issuing his dissent here soon at some point. So we will see about that going forward. My last question to you is, California, just earlier in the month, voted to put in 5 new Democratic districts at the expense of Republicans to neutralize what Republicans did here in Texas. And now Republicans in that state have filed a lawsuit challenging that. What do you make of this situation?
Well, the hypocrisy is unreal. I mean, they're arguing what we're arguing as Democrats here. But let's remember, the voters in California made that decision. It wasn't a unilateral decision by the California legislature. They took it to the voters and they made the decision to redraw the maps. And again, we wouldn't even be here if Abbott would have stood for the people of Texas and denied the Trump administration's request to draw these racially gerrymandered maps.
All right, we will leave it there. Democratic State Representative Nicole Collier of Fort Worth. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.